All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. This is our 5 millionth training for the Valley Giving Guide.
Oh,
And today we're going to get detailed about preparing for the launch because it is, in fact, November. And I can't believe we're here, but here we are. So we're launching November 30th. And we want to help you get as comfortable as possible with everything you're doing for that day. So as usual, I'll do a little housekeeping. We are muting all of our guests, participants, and there will be time for live questions. But if you think of a question and you want to throw it into the chat, Liz and I are monitoring that as we go. Today, Liz will share all sorts of really fabulous information and collateral that she has prepared for us. And then we have our friend and colleague, Catherine Witherington from Downtown Walla Walla Foundation, and she will be sharing her plans and kind of talking through some of her decision points that led up to how they decided to do one thing over the other. So she has some interesting stuff to share. I already mentioned we are recording this meeting. We'll share it back out after we're done and after I edit it to remove all the silly things I say. And then let's talk about our goals. Please pay attention. I have hinted at this before, and I'm giving you a very big hint now. Pay attention to what I'm about to say. First of all, our goal, collectively raise $1 million. Easy peasy, we got this. Next reminder goal, and again, I don't feel like it's absolutely necessary to say to this group because you're here, but we will get out of this event what we put into it. So if we want $1 million out of it, we got to put it in. So thank you for your enthusiasm, your participation, your questions. We want to get it right. We want to make sure you're doing everything you can to encourage your donors. This is an online giving event. Our site is secure. It's confidential. The only access to donor information is the org that they donate to and us, and we will only use it if there's really an issue that needs to be addressed. And then we launch on November 30th. Yay, that's like 3 weeks away. And with that, before I throw it to Liz, I'm going to talk a little bit about sort of donor communication. So we're starting to get questions. I bet you all are too. And we're starting to see some early giving or earlier year-end giving. A lot of donors with IRAs are encouraged to request their RMDs 60 days in advance of the end of the year. So that's like 2 weeks ago. So if you know of those people who are regular donors to your organization, it's a really good idea to let them know. Let them know you're doing Valley Giving Guide. We can facilitate those types of transactions. They need to give us a call and we can talk through it, or we can talk it through with you if you are comfortable being the middleman. But yeah, those are starting to happen. We are also to try to encourage participation from those donors. We are sending a communication this afternoon to all of the financial advisors that we know in town. And it'll come from Cole and it'll just say, hey, you're probably working with several people to process RMDs, which is a required minimum distribution. I'm sorry, I get told I use acronyms too much. Please just note that if your donors want to make a charitable donation with that money, they can do it through the Valley Giving Guide, and we're happy to help, and here's how. So we're trying to get that word out before too many go out and miss the bonus pool by going directly to any organizations. So what else? Oh, we were going to walk through the FAQ. Liz, updated the donor FAQ on the Valley Giving Guide website. So before this week, it was more nonprofit focused with questions that we were hearing from you as you worked on your site and got prepared for everything. We've switched the focus now to the donors. So I'm going to share my screen, maybe. Okay, can you see my Valley Giving Guide website? Yes, okay. So from the homepage of valleyGivingGuide.org, you'll see we've shifted the main page focus as well to donors who might make their way here before launch. And then right up here, you'll still see your login. They can browse by categories. We still have some resources for our organizations, but the FAQ is really geared towards donor questions. So we have answered several of the ones that we've heard already, but if you have any that you would like us to add, that you're hearing from your donors, let us know. You can throw them in the chat right now, or you can email me or Liz, and we can get them updated. You'll also see our sponsors listed down the side, and Liz is going to talk a little bit more about those guys. Does anyone have any questions about this information before I throw it over to Liz? Okay. Oh, Jim. Yeah, Terry, hi. Yes, we can share that information with you, with everybody, for you to share with your board and any donors that you think would like to know that information. Okay, I'm going to move on. Oh, people are still coming in. All right, with that, I'm going to hand it over to Liz, who is going to talk about a whole bunch of really exciting stuff that she's put together for us. Hello, Liz.
Thank you. I'm taking over the screen share here. So we just talked about sponsors and how they're live on the website. And one aspect of that is that we want your help to thank our sponsors. So we've added in the Dropbox. And again, if you can't remember where that lives, if you go to the Giving Guide and click on NPO resources, there's a link straight to the Dropbox. And we have a folder now called sponsor logos. So we have a couple of different images that list all of the sponsors. So we would just really encourage you to include those in your own promotional materials, shout them out on social media, and just help us in thanking them for their generous support. This is where all of the bonus pool money is coming from, and we really want to make them happy so that they can give us more next year. So you can find those in the Dropbox. I've been very busy the last few days getting a ton of new resources added to the Dropbox for everybody to use this year. We have a bunch of new promotion materials, as well as some additional just kind of templates and other things that you can utilize if you choose to. So one of the things that I have added recently are a couple of different Facebook cover images that you can utilize to brand your page for the Valley Giving Guide. We have the general one here that we've used for a lot of our communications that has pictures pre-filled into it. Or we also have a blank version where you can add your own pictures. So I went around trying to figure out the easiest way to demonstrate how to add your own pictures. And depending on what software you have access to, there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. But if you're kind of on the bare bones end of software, I've created a PowerPoint template that you can use to create your pictures in that round shape that we use. And then you can save those pictures and insert them into that blank template. So just a quick walkthrough of that PowerPoint template. So everybody's seeing the PowerPoint? No? Okay, let me switch my screen. Okay, how about now? Yes, okay. So this is available in the Dropbox. It's called Circle Photo Template. We have a couple of different sizes and colors that you can choose from. So when you're in the template, you want to click on one of the circles and you'll do the shape fill option and select picture. So from there, you can find your picture wherever it's saved on your computer, insert that in, and it'll crop it into that circle for you. And then you just want to right click on it and save as picture. So now you've got those cropped round pictures and you can use those in any of your promotional materials and just add them into those blank templates. There's instructions in the corner. Got too many Zoom window things here to walk you through it. And if you have any trouble with it or you need any help, it's really quick and easy for us to throw those templates together. So just shoot us your pictures if you're struggling with it, and we're happy to help with that as well. We found that using Paint 3D, it's an app that comes loaded on Microsoft computers, was the easiest way to then add those pictures to the cover photo. So you can download the cover photo out of Dropbox and then insert those pictures that you saved, and it works pretty smoothly. And then you save your picture and upload it back to Facebook. So that's kind of a lot. If you're not super tech savvy, that might be beyond what you're interested in doing. And so again, if you really want to use that, but you're not sure how to do it, reach out to us and we're happy to help walk through that. Switch my screen back now. Okay, so back into the Dropbox. So there are two cover photo options. There's two Facebook image options. So these are the profile image on your page. Again, you're welcome to keep your profile, however you'd like, but the more Valley Giving Guide branding we can add, then the more that will drive folks to the website. Also created an email signature image. So you can add this to your email signature on for your work email or your personal email, and you can actually set it up so that the image itself will be a hyperlink that you can put in directly to your giving page. So I can walk through that as well, maybe at the end if anyone has questions about how to set up their email signature. It's really quick and easy. You'll just need the link for your giving page and Outlook or Gmail or whatever email that you use. So that's an option to use as well. We've created kind of a banner image that you can utilize in any of your newsletters or e-newsletters to add some of that information about the giving guide and that style. We also have a couple of postcard options that you can utilize. So these are all designed so that you can print them in-house or you can have them printed professionally. It has our sponsors on the back and just a brief message about maximizing your end of year giving. So we have space here to include your return address information so they know it's from you, and then the area here to put your donor's contact information. And then it has our website on there so folks know where to go to give. We have a version of this that has a space for your logo. Let me pull that version up. So you can add your logo into the circle here. And so it'll be a little bit more branded to your organization, and then the back of it is the same. We also are working on some posters. So I have the 8.5 by 11 ready to go. I'm still finalizing a larger format version. So it's a flyer or a poster that you can print off in-house. Again, it's designed so that you don't have to have that fancy edge-to-edge printing. It'll look just fine on a regular printer. It has just a few brief highlights of what the Valley Giving Guide is: support for your nonprofits, maximize your year-end giving, all donations are boosted, and our major sponsors and the website. So we're going to be printing some of these off and hanging them around town, but if you want to have a stack available at your nonprofit for folks who walk in or utilize your services or hang them in your organization's building, We strongly encourage it. The more eyes we can get on the name Valley Giving Guide and the website, the more it'll drive folks to your page as well as to everybody else's page. So those are the marketing materials that we have at the moment. I'm still working on getting a couple more things added. We also have a letterhead template. So if you don't have letterhead or you want to have like a special Valley Giving Guide letterhead for your thank you letters, we have created two versions. One has the Valley Giving Guide logo at the top, and you can put your logo at the bottom and then type in your thank you, and then the other reverses it, so you can have your logo at the top and then the Valley Giving Guide logo at the bottom, and then room for your contact information. I think somebody had requested that, so that's in there as well. And I know there were some folks who were looking for some ideas on how to thank their donors. So we got this wonderful PDF from Mobile Cause that has different thank you templates. So it has some email templates, it has some letter templates, and it also has some social media templates, just ideas and wording that you can use to thank your donors and call out big donors throughout the event. So that's up in the Dropbox as well. And we're working on getting some sample social media posts that you can update or copy and paste. So that's coming in the next day or so. So keep an eye out for that. And then as we're getting closer, again, we encourage you to plan ahead and schedule your social media posts as much as you can. So just to highlight again, in the planning materials, we have that social media calendar. So definitely, you don't have to use this version, obviously, but just make a list of, what day you want to post things, what you're going to post. Do you need to make an image for it? Canva is a great resource for that, where you can plug in the logo and you can add your own pictures and things like that, and make a really nice image to post with your whatever copy you want to include. So definitely we encourage you track that information so that you're staying on track and using those schedule features so that you don't have to remember to do it every day, and you can set up a bunch of things now that will go out automatically. And as you're thinking about your social media and when you want to post, remember that we do have our prize calendar in here. If you want to start focusing on some of these specific prizes, we're working with our board to add in a couple of surprise prizes. So stay tuned for that. We'll get the prize calendar updated when we have a little bit more information about that. And let's see, one other thing, I added a couple of different logo designs. So this is the wrong folder, in the VGG logos folder. So I've created some versions of the logo that have 11/30/21 as the date instead of just 2021. So if you'd like a logo that has the date that it launches or a different date, you can reach out to us and we'd be happy to provide that. But we have single color versions as well as the full color version with that date. And then we still have the regular version that just says 2021 as well. And to that, I also added a solid white version, which we didn't have before. So if you have a dark background and you want to stick that white logo on it, that's available as well. So tons of different options for logos that hopefully one of them will fit whatever design style you're looking for. So those are all there as options as well. And just want to double check that I got through all of the things I wanted to mention today. I think that's all that I have. If there's a specific piece of marketing material or a template that you're looking for, reach out and I'd be happy to work with you and get something created. We'll be using some of these as well, just to send out general promotion of the events. The mailing that will be going to every residential household in the 4 counties is at the printer, and they're working on it now, and it should be going out in the next couple of weeks. So everybody will be getting that mailer that has all the organizations listed, as well as links to the website. So we'll be having that coverage as well with our media. It's like there's a lot of things in the chat. I don't know if there's questions in the chat.
Yes, Liz, the first question is, do we have a QR code for the
We do have a
website?
QR code. I will add that to the Dropbox.
Thank you. And then Annalicia is asking about fonts and color codes. And I know that's in the Dropbox, and I will throw the link in the chat, but you could probably show it to everybody while I'm doing that.
Yeah, so it's part of the nonprofit toolkit, which is in here somewhere. Isn't it? Maybe it's not here. The quick facts. Yes, the quick facts. There's a page that has all of the color codes. There's not really an official font. I believe that the logo font is Future PT. I'd have to double check that, but I can add that as well. So yes, we have the color codes there for you to use.
Okay, any other questions before we move away from Liz? She'll be here the whole time, so if you think of one, we have time for live questions.
Yeah. Looks like, did you see Jim had a question about the survey?
I did, and I answered him directly in chat, but that's something we'll be talking about on November 18th.
Okay, sorry, I see that response now.
Yeah. No, I know, there's a lot going on in the chat, which
Yeah.
we love. It's perfect. Keep it coming. All right. Then we're going to move on to our friend and colleague, Catherine Witherington from Downtown Walla Walla Foundation. And she's going to kind of take a deep dive into her planning process and share all of her fabulous thoughts with us. Hi, Catherine.
Hi, Greer, and hi, everyone. Thank you so much. This is an amazing group of talented people, and a lot of this is probably really basic and things you're already doing, but I figure it helps to give a little overview of how we're approaching this, and then happy to take any questions about how it works. And I love that several people have called out the beauty of Canva, because actually showing just a quick overview of how we're utilizing Canva is part of what I want to do today, because it is like the best resource ever that just simplifies particularly social media for me in a way that's valuable. So we are approaching this fundraising opportunity kind of in two different ways. And the first way that I'll just touch on, because it is getting us kickstarted right now in a way that feels really meaningful and is helping to give me energy, is we are taking this month, which is, you know, a month that is often thought of as a gratitude type month, to take time between myself and my board and my staff to thank the stakeholders that we'll be asking for money for in a month and expressing our gratitude for them. So for me in downtown Walla Walla, this is maybe easier because it's literally a footprint that I could just walk door to door in and check in with our business owners, thank them for what they've done this year, share my gratitude for their contributions. But we're looking at this month to sort of prime the pump on what comes next month. And if the conversation lens this way, where we can say like, and by the way, I look for this fundraising letter, we will, but we're really just saying thank you ahead of time, and then we'll say thank you again in a few months. But I loved when Greer asked me about this last week, and I was like, we kind of have a plan, but it's not fully fleshed out yet. But it's more fully fleshed out now, and it took a week. And so, and my main priority is asking myself, like, what's good enough? And then how can something I create for one purpose serve multiple purposes? And so just from a practical perspective, and I think I can share screen. Make sure I have the right thing pulled up. Okay. So When we were updating our Valley Giving Guide, I had this moment in my head when I was when we were updating our profile, I had this moment where I was like, oh, I want to make this amazing. And maybe we should do a brand new video. And like, I was making more work for myself. And what we ended up realizing we could do is we had an existing video that in our case, Washington Main Street had put together that we could just drop in. But we also had just like little things we've done in the last year and cute pictures and things that like the guide here feels important to me and the online profile thing, but I really think most people aren't going to choose to donate to us because they find us on this one site and love it. I think most of them hopefully will know our mission going in. So, you know, we chose a video that captures the spirit of what we're doing, but it isn't specifically about downtown Walla Walla, but it does the job. And I'm very happy with the fact that it does the job. The other thing that we have started working on literally last Friday was putting together a list of wins. And can we see this? Is my started with list of wins? What's showing? Excellent. And so this is designed where I'm asking everyone who's in my orbit, like our board is working on this, our staff is working on this. I've made my husband listen to me. Like, what are the good things that we have done this year? And then we're using that list to promote or to create all of our content that we'll be using to promote it. So we'll do a fundraising letter out to our stakeholders, letter/email/both. That's the more formal and stat driven thing. Like, we brought X amount of people downtown to Walla Walla to your doorfront. You know, we ran 4 different shop local campaigns. That number-based stuff that people, we have found the ones who like receiving the formal letter, like knowing what their dollars are supporting in a very concrete way. So we will tell them that. But then we also are using these same things to put into a social media plan, which is like a more aspirational and dreamy and picture-based thing. And so like, we're kind of doing this like under a theme, which may tweak slightly of that, you know, because when you're downtown, these things happen. So for example, the social media post will say something like, we dance in the streets. And we have pictures of the summer concert series that we took. And we'll be able to do 2 social media posts out of that. One that's just about a picture and the way that we dance in the street. And also what we're calling do you know posts, where an event like that was done in close partnership with the city. So it's a chance to highlight that partnership and that piece of our mission. And we did this is just like a quick list of ones that are, you know, kind of more touchy-feely amazing, but we'll make them about what we do and how we do it and why we do it. And in particular, one way I was thinking about this is I didn't want to have to create anything new. I didn't want to take new pictures. I didn't want to have to hire someone to get more stuff done. So I looked at what we had in our existing social media efforts from the year, and I'm just reusing a lot of those pictures. And so, for example, this was when I literally did as this meeting started. One of the things we want to talk about is our support of businesses through COVID recovery. And I did that under this guise of we help you weather the storm, which conveniently this morning, one of my staff had snapped a picture of the rainy street. And so functionally, how we'll deal with that is using amazing Canva, which we love so much. So I want to talk about that for a second. So if you've never used Canva, do it. It's free for nonprofits. And it is so user-friendly. I am not a good designer, but it makes it easy for me. So for me, if I'm coming in here and I want to do a social media post, it's as easy as clicking create a design. And then I want to do a Facebook post because most of our stuff is Facebook. And you have, there we go. You can create something fresh, or you can search templates. So that is what I did. You can see like I did rainy, rain weather, bad weather. Weather ended up being the best. And I found this one that was already a picture of a rainy day. And then I'm going to upload my photo of rainy downtown Walla Walla. Drop that into the middle of this. And you can remove any of these features too. So if I can't get this picture big enough, I'll remove it. Then down here at the bottom, add, we help you weather the storm, those touchy-feely win phrases. And then there, I've created a picture. If I'm feeling ambitious, I could add in our logo, the VGG logo, all of those things. But this took, 2 minutes with you guys, maybe a couple extra to find the picture. And then you just download it as a PNG or whatever format you use, JPEG, to put onto your social media. So it's super, super easy and lets you create really cool, visually striking things for all sorts of different mediums. We might use some for flyers and things like that too, if we end up doing mini flyers with this, though I don't think we will. But you can see just from a quick design, like these are different things we've done throughout the year, all with Canva. Just a high level overview. And like I said, free, easy to use. And I think that was something where I messaged Greer about this before I threw her under the bus with this. If you want help either figuring out how to use Canva or starting this list of wins that can feed into your overall marketing campaign around this, that's what Greer's office hours are for. And so she is available to help with that. And I truly, like, that was the best thing that for me got it started, was thinking through what have we done well. And particularly, I don't know how all of you are feeling, but I'm feeling really burned out. And like, sometimes this work is really hard. And so the thought of then asking people for money to support this work felt really hard. And taking a moment to recenter that in the wins was so valuable for my own outlook on this upcoming fundraising and to help make that sell to our people. And so that was a very, very high level how we're approaching it. Basically, if you haven't started yet, start with that list of wins. And then if you need help with developing that or turning those wins into stats, that's where Greer and the amazing templates that Liz just shared, I think, can really come into play to make this super valuable. And then use Canva. Any questions?
Thank you, Catherine. Yeah, so first of all, I'm going to throw out a little guilt trip because I spent 2 hours in office hours last week with Liz. Just Greer and Liz. We got a lot of chatting done, but nobody else came. And I was very surprised. So, but honestly, we're there to help. I have literally spent 45 minutes helping design like hero images for an organization, or and Liz usually sits in there with me, and then she kind of goes offline and helps people with other things through the chat and whatever. So we try to divide and conquer. Sometimes it is a private one-on-one session. Cindy's been there. There was a big group of people the day that Cindy was there, and it was great. It was like a real office hours where we just kind of went around, and then the answers to one person's question helped someone else with their question. And then I think Wendy was kind of in the background, like working on something else, and then she'd pop in every once in a while and say, okay, I'm here. Now what do I need to do? So it's really can be, it's totally customized to whatever you need, and it can be really valuable. So when's the next office hours, you ask? That's a really good question. I don't remember, but I can tell you in just a moment. And while I'm looking that up, I want to say thank you to Catherine. Like, your honesty about this, I think, is the most valuable. I mean, everything you shared and your process and everything is amazing. But your honesty about some of the challenges that we all face, we're not alone. I sent out a gentle nudge email to organizations that haven't quite finished all their stuff yet. And guess who received that email? Us. Yeah. We haven't done anything on our profile. So don't feel bad. You're not alone. And if you start now, you could be done in a few days if you really kind of just think it through the way Catherine explained. and start with some wins. That is a really good place to start. So I'm supposed to be looking up my office hours and I'm failing at that.
While Greer looks that up, I just want to highlight that Canva has a lot of great tutorials available as well. So if you go to the Learn tab, they have all these getting started and how to design things. So that's a great resource as well. And I know that whenever I'm designing something, I'm not really sure what I'm doing, a video walkthrough is so incredibly useful, and you can pause it and rewind it and follow along. So that's something that is out there as well.
That's true. Thanks, Liz. November 10th are the next office hours. Okay. Let me review my agenda for today, but I think we're ready for questions. That felt very short and sweet. Who's going to ask me the first question? Probably not me. Probably Liz or Catherine.
I sent you an email.
Hi, Peggy. You don't want to ask it out loud here?
I have too much to ask.
Okay, I see that. Can I share that with the group?
That I have too much to ask?
No, she just sent me an email that says, I need your help, exclamation point. Yes, Peggy, we will schedule a time.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a more specific question? Liz, is there anything in the chat?
Yes, Cindy just asked, is the opening hour midnight of November 30 or noon? It is midnight. So get those night owls ready. Anna Alicia is asking if they receive checks from donors who want to give for the giving guide, can they sign them over?
Are you looking at me to answer
I
that
am,
question?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Did we make a decision about that?
I know we decided that we would accept checks.
Yeah.
I think we were looking to not do that this year. It got to be a lot last year.
Yeah.
If they're writing checks now, we would recommend, if it's a donor that you're comfortable with, reaching out and saying, hey, this matching opportunity is coming up. Do you want to, take this check back and send it later?
Or go online.
There is a 3% offline donation admin fee for us to process those checks. It's very time consuming. So we do encourage online giving as much as possible. If they absolutely don't have a credit card or a debit card and they can't do it, then we'll take it. But it does need to be made out to Valley Giving Guide. And it does need to be clear which nonprofit or nonprofits they want to support.
Yeah, and we're not doing early. We're not taking any early checks that donors have sent to an organization and then want to sign over. We're really holding firm for purposes of checks to the November 30th date. We are the loophole on that is that we are working with donors processing RMDs. Those we can do early, but we have to have the conversation with that donor, that organization, the financial advisor. There needs to be communication on that front. So yeah, between now and November 30th, you should be communicating with your donors to be patient and then make their gift online.
Yeah, Emily just said last resort. Absolutely. That is the wording we would love everyone to use. It does need to say Valley Giving Guide and then the org information in the memo line. If they want to give to multiple organizations, please include a note or a piece of paper and don't try to cram, a whole bunch into the memo line, which we've seen before.
Cindy, I see you. Go ahead.
Sure. I just am wondering if I do believe in those benefits of online giving. I think that somehow listing that out, the benefits that it saves a nonprofit in not having to process checks. I don't know if there's any line that's being put on any of the marketing materials that you're putting out, but that I think would help our community understand that I think they think in some ways the check is the golden way to do things. And this is a big movement to the online platforms for some. I think that listing, like you just did, the benefits that it saves actually a lot of time for the staff and encourage that kind of giving, I think would be helpful.
Yeah, so we have that detailed on the FAQ on the website. We are not publicly really talking about the 3% fee except to our organization. So because they're your donors, you have that relationship. We're kind of leaving that up to each org to communicate with their donors in the way that works best. So that's at least our approach for this year, is to just try to, all of our collateral is online. Everything includes the website. So we're hoping that it's maybe implicit that it's an online event and that it's free for nonprofits to participate. That's a question that we've heard a lot, and that we're covering all the fees for all online donations. So we're trying to gear it towards like that messaging instead of the, we're gonna charge you a 3% fee. Cause it's, you know, donors don't wanna hear that from us. And really the net to the organization, you know, will still include the bonus. It'll just be minus that 3% on checks. So it's a little more complicated than, you know, we, at least in my mind, that we could include on collateral. So, but Liz might have like some magic that she could work. But yeah, we're trying to say it without totally saying it.
Yeah, it does explicitly say it on every residential address mailer, because that does include a return envelope, and we wanted that to be clear to folks that if they do send us a check, that this charge is going to come out of it. But it has the QR code on the mailer, and it also has the website all over. So it encourages folks to avoid that fee by donating online. So hopefully that will help as well. But yeah, as Greer mentioned, it's on the FAQ on the website. There's not, I haven't really found a good spot to put it in some of the smaller marketing materials like the postcards. But I think by only mentioning go to the website to give on those materials, that will help. And if anybody wants to give you guys a hard time, we can explain to them why it's so much better to give online.
Yeah. The other thing, Annalisa asked earlier about a QR code. So I'm working on a letter for one of our funds that's included in the giving guide, the Melton Free Water Athena Weston Fund. And they have a mailing list that they like to send a letter to every year for year-end giving. And I'm working on a draft of that. And I put a QR code literally like smack dab in the center of that letter. So as their donors are reading it, they can scan that QR code with their phone and go straight online instead of even having to type in like nallyGivingGuide.org/s/, you know, like trying to ease their way to get it. So even if you're mailing something, and you can say it in a direct mail piece as well, like the online giving is the best option because. Okay, I see a lot of comments in here. Yes, checks need to be made out to Valley Giving Guide. They can also be made out to BMCF, but we've registered Valley Giving Guide as a trade name, so the bank will accept those. Oh, Cindy, that's a good idea. We will be doing press releases. But I hadn't gotten to a guest piece and a guest article in the UB. That could be something we can toss around. Yeah. I thought I saw another question in here.
There's a whole bunch. Office hours are 10 to noon. Canva, I think it's just canva.com, and you can create an account. We haven't actually gone through the verification yet for getting the free pro version, so I'm not sure what that entails. Probably just a copy of your IRS letter would be my guess. Let's see, early giving, that opens on November 18th. So the website's going to be open for like a soft launch on November 18th. And that's really because of the every residential mailing and then some of the newspaper inserts and advertising. We can't predict exactly when those mailings are going to start hitting people's homes. So we don't want the website to be inactive if somebody gets that mailer and wants to go online and donate. So that's why that early option is opening. But we are not going to be promoting it as the start date. It'll just be quietly open for folks to make donations if they happen to come upon the website. So that's what the soft opening on the 18th is. And Alicia says they have a specific matching donor, the matching pool funds on top of their match. Yes, right.
And no. Just to provide some clarity. No, so an outside or third party match does not come through us and therefore is not really actually in the giving guide. So if you have an outside match, you can list it on your page to encourage donors to meet it. But because it's usually going to just go straight to the organization, or it's an arrangement with the organization outside of the giving guide proper and outside of BMCF, the 3% isn't included on, or excuse me, not the 3%. The bonus pool is not included for that, but any donation you get as a result of that match will have the bonus pool bump. So like we said, yes and no.
One question I didn't see answered is, what is the early giving?
So the early, we're opening the website November 18th. That's really to work out any kinks, and like Liz said, just to kind of make sure that it's there to capture donors who have received the mailer and want to get their donations made, or who receive the insert in the newspapers, because they all have slightly different delivery dates. So they'll be able to make donations. It'll be active. It's a good time to test. So we'll do a walkthrough on the live site at our next training. It's a good time if you have board members, or if you want to do like a swap test with a partner organization and do like a $5 donation and see how it works. See what it feels like to be a donor. See how it works to access the donor information after somebody has made a gift. That's kind of a good window to do that. But the actual launch, and when the leaderboard starts displaying progress, and when the prizes are in effect, that's November 30th. Did that help, Jackie?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just didn't see an answer to that.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I just want to highlight quickly, you mentioned briefly that the leaderboard will be active on November 30th. So it won't be active during the early giving. So if you see that you don't have any money raised, but you log in and you have donors, that's why. And then on November 30th, when it opens officially, then the leaderboard will populate with all that money that you may have raised during the early giving soft launch. So you might log in that day and see, oh, look, my leaderboard says I have $3,000. So that's how that part of it will work.
And the newspapers, Annalicia, are we're doing newspaper inserts in Union Bulletin, Wadesburg Times, Dayton Chronicle, East Oregonian, and East Washingtonian. They all drop on different days. Some of them are weekly and some of them are daily, but they're going out like around Thanksgiving. So some of them are like the Tuesday of that week, some of them are the Friday, some of them are the Sunday. But it's that week. So they will all have landed at households and businesses prior to November 30th, like just right before. Oh, that's a direct message. But Wendy, I'm going to call it out. The fairgrounds to advertise on their reader board. I haven't.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anybody over there really. I didn't Bill leave, and I don't even remember. I don't know who's over there. Who do we talk to?
Greg's the new fair director,
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right.
so
Do you want to ask Greg?
sure. What
I
did you
don't really
say?
know.
Don't volunteer to do anything because they'll ask you to do something. The number one golden rule. Yeah, I can ask him.
Yeah, all good suggestions get the assignment usually. Sorry. These are all really good questions. Thank you. Does anybody have any other fun ideas or? That's right, Jim. That's how you all ended up here. Let's be honest. Okay, well, I am not hearing any I'm not seeing hands raised. I'm not hearing, oh, Cindy.
I was trying to text really fast or chat really fast. I'm not that I wait to the last minute to do things, but what is the deadline on getting your pages wrapped?
That's a really good question. There isn't one. People are looking at the site now. We ran our first ad in the UB last Sunday, and we're getting traffic. So we actually had an internal conversation about this with Thon. Y'all met Thon. And he's like, okay, are you gonna cut people off, or are people gonna get ejected, or what's going on? We're like, no, like it's up to you. I mean, do you like the idea of people going to your page and seeing nothing? I mean, they'll have the logo because you all met that deadline. You'll have your website, your address, links to your Facebook, whatever. But yeah, the hero image, if you don't have that populated, it's literally a giant black rectangle.
I was thinking that it wasn't until November 30th that would be live for the public. So knowing that is live currently is really helpful to kick my in gear to get it done. So thank you.
Yeah, same over here, Cindy. we haven't done it. So yeah, it's like between now and the 30th, like you're gonna want to get it done. And we're here to help. Again, office hours, November 10th. Schedule an appointment, whatever works. Like, we're here to help you. We're all here to support the work that you're doing. So, and sometimes I just go and like add pictures and then I'll tell you about it. And if that's something you want me to do, like, I'm happy to do that if I have access to anything. And then you can just tell me what to edit. Any other questions like that? Those are things, and I apologize for this. Those are things that like make sense in my brain, but haven't been verbalized. So thanks, Cindy. That's really important information. Anybody else?
I think it's prize time.
What, Liz? Do you want to do the prizes?
Oh, looks like Tom might have a question.
Yes. Okay, here, Tom, you got to unmute.
Find the right button here. I didn't catch when the mailer's going out, or is that decided yet?
The mailer is at the printer. There are 60,000 copies going out, so it just depends kind of on how USPS is doing. We're hoping that it'll be going out in the next couple of weeks, but we're just not sure when it will actually arrive. But we can send everybody an update once it's at the mail house and it's out the door.
Okay,
And then you'll all be getting one because you live in the 4 counties, so you'll see when they arrive.
sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah.
And actually on that, we, in one of my last newsletters, I asked if anybody wanted extra copies of the mailer or the insert. And I didn't do a good job of maybe explaining why you might want those. So we have ordered 1 copy of both of those publications for every organization that's participating. And then we have a stack of 500 extra of the mailer, and then we'll also get the insert. So if you have businesses, friends, if you are really good friends with a restaurant, you want to like put some out, let us know and we can get you a little stack, and we can spread the word even further. And please take them, because, oh my gosh, if we end up with 500 copies of each, we're going to have, I don't know, like a paper mache party or something at the end of the year.
Yeah, Jeannie, once we get those in hand, we can either deliver or folks can pick them up and we can work that out one-on-one.
Yeah, okay. Let's make a note. Jen, can you make a note of the people who are saying they want some? Thank you. Awesome. Okay, now are we ready for prizes? I feel like every question leads to more information that we're supposed to tell you. So that's why I'm stalling, because I really like these questions. Okay, I'm not seeing anybody looking like they want to speak. Okay, prizes. You know the drill. Get your chat ready. If you've won a prize before, we're not gonna, but you're welcome to participate, but we're trying to diversify the love to everybody, as many as possible. Okay, where are my questions? Oh, first one. Okay, first person to answer this in the chat. You ready? Is everybody ready? How many days until launch?
Oh,
There it
no.
is, Maddie. There it is. Maddie Richards at Vital.
Yay.
25. I could have asked the minutes and seconds too, but I didn't. Yes, Emily, math. It's actually posted. There's a countdown on the website, which we looked at several times during our presentation today. Okay, next question. You ready? You ready? What is our primary goal for this event? First in the chat.
Oh, Jeff Randall got there instant.
It's like he knew it was coming. All right, Jeff. Awesome. and love, Ann Alicia. Yes. All right. You ready for the next one? What type of event is this? Yes, it's an online event. Now I'm forgetting how to say your name. Kaylin? Kaylin. You want to come off mute and tell me which one's right?
It's in the chat. It's Kaylin.
Kaylin. Thank you. All right. Last question. What kind of giving do we want at this event? Okay, Rachel, and then Jeannie, online giving, you're right. And yes, and Nancy, big giving. We do want big giving.
Big online giving.
Big online giving, yes. I love it. All right, so we will be in touch. The prize winners get to select a venue of their choice for a $25 gift card. We will organize it. We will get it to you, and you can enjoy. And with that, join me November 10th for office hours, or get in touch with us if we can help you one-on-one, and you are released. Thank you so much.